Donald Trump killed it last night. Killed it. Killed it. Hands down victorious in the first and what will probably be the only debate, even though they're talking about something later on, even though there's some reference to that. He absolutely killed it. Why do I say that? Am I saying that because I'm just some Trump sycophant? You know better than that. You know better than that. You know it. You know, if I don't like something, I tell you. And if I don't think somebody did a good job, and if I think Trump screwed it up or blew it, I'll tell you. I am not going to lie to you. I don't lie to you. That's not my thing. He killed it. Now let's talk about this. First, let me explain to the American people a couple of things, and the world for that matter. I don't know what this review is where people are saying he nailed it. I don't know, or she nailed it, or she did great, or he did great. Let me start off with this. This is not a debate. I don't know what you want to call this thing. You give it whatever reason you want. It is not a debate. It has never been a debate. Never. Ever, under any circumstances whatsoever. It doesn't even remotely reflect a debate. What it is was this woman having been given all of the questions, everything. She knew everything in advance. And if you have any doubt, if you honestly cannot see this, if you didn't recognize immediately that she knew everything in advance, you're not paying attention. You're not paying attention. And maybe you're biased, and maybe you just like her, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, and that's fine. You know what? And that's okay. That's okay. If you want to do it that way, you can be biased. You can be biased. It's okay. It is absolutely fine. It was such a it was so unfair. 3 against 1 from the beginning. They didn't even care. They didn't care at all how obvious it was. Let me say it again. They didn't care. Muir and Lindsay, or whatever her name is, said, we don't care. Just go out there and just destroy him. I don't care about journalistic ethics. I don't care about any of this stuff. Go out and destroy him. Do whatever you have to do. She is dying. She hasn't spoken. Nobody knows her. She's going to say the same stuff over and over again. Please try your best to look as though you're at least somewhat surprised. Hit him. Ask him 2, 3, 4 questions. Fact check him right when he says something. Fact check him. Hit him hard. That's not true. That didn't occur. Fact check her with nothing. Never clarify. Never say, well, you said this. There was one tepid advance. I don't even remember what the hell it was. But here's the bottom line. You ready for this, kids? Listen to me carefully. 1 week from today. 1 week from today. Because remember, there's 55 days until the election. 1 week from today. You know what people are going to be saying? Nothing. Nothing. People are going to say, do you remember that time when Trump said the thing about the, do you remember that? Yeah. By the way, have we seen Kamala Harris? No. Has she been on TV? No. Has she sit down for an interview? No. Do we know anything about her? No. She came across nice. To give her props, if you were watching an audition and somebody said you nailed the script line, she came out, she read her lines, she said them, she did some things, and we could argue about certain things. She obviously made it a point to look laughing and looking at him. He never looked at her once. I think once when he said to her, let me answer my question. Sound familiar? I'm going to say something to you also, my friends. And ladies, I want you to answer this question. And I'm going to say this. And people always forget. They always forget the response, the reaction. They forget how people are internally. Okay? Let me explain this to you. Kamala Harris, all her life, has been trying to find her way. And because of Willie Brown initially, and I'm not bringing that up again, but that was just like men get patronage positions. We had it here in the old days here in New York with Tammany Hall or whatever. It's nothing new. I'm not going the direction you might be thinking, but from DA to AG to senator, that was it. Kamala Harris she doesn't have any obvious gross, I mean, not gross as in grotesque, but obvious impediments. She can read lines. She can do it. She remembered it. She's a bit of an actress, bit of a ham. She's been doing this for a long time. Remember, her world is an act. She is almost like an undercover agent. The story of her mother, the single mother. Her father must love that. He just keeps reminding him. And the father issue has always been one of abandonment. Very common. Very common. He even wrote a Jamaican father's perspective or something. She even made it a point to identify as Asian. And that's why it was important to identify as Asian, to identify as Indian, because it was a rejection of her father. And all that was her father. Remember when she was on that morning show and she made a joke. She made a joke about I'm Jamaican and smoking weed, and her father was furious as to that because she repeated this referenced trope of Jamaican this and that and all that kind of stuff. It's incredible. It's absolutely positively incredible. And men, in her particular case, from Willing, I don't know anything about the future, and I'm not going to go anything about her personal life because we don't know. All I know is this. When she looked at him last night, that was not the look of somebody who is trying to maintain some feigned disgust. That is somebody who is showing a sense of, what's the word? That is somebody who is showing the look of longing, confusion, awe. I'm going to go one step further. Attraction. It was this weird thing because she looks at him and laughs, and she's looking at him for approbation, approval, for recognition. You can see it. I'm not making this up, my friends. I'm not making this. I'm not saying this like, oh, I am serious about this. Now, your thoughts and comments are really critical right now, up to now. Evan Webb says, nice 3-on-1 debate, and he still was better. Kamala looked defeated by the third quarter. That's not what they say, but I agree with you. Bias against DJT is so bad that it's going to backfire. American public is going to see through this and how the machine is openly working to sink him. Cobb says another huge miss on the eve of 9/11. He let her get away with calling January 6th the biggest attack on our democracy since the Civil War. A shame. Do you mean dare I say, do you mean when she referenced during the course of this?
Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
You mean that one? You mean that one? I would have absolutely, I agree with you. Something should have been said. Is that fatal? No. Is that the end of everything? No. Is it through for him? No. Absolutely not. Is Mrs. L around? Indeed. Indeed. Now, here's my question for you. And I ask you this question very, very simply. What do you think is going to be the impact on the election? Not the question, not the story of how do we think she did? What was the highlight? What was your favorite moment? That doesn't matter. Bobby Kennedy actually said it pretty succinctly, and I'm not going to bombard you with clips today because I found myself thinking, what am I doing? I'm doing, but he made a very, very good point.
Moderators who are clearly biased, who are constantly fact-checking Donald Trump. None of these kind of whoppers that the vice president was saying, and none of her failure to really explain that, answer that first question, that very, very critical first question. They simply sat there on the sidelines and allowed that to pass.
No, we know that to be true. We know that to do. Remember this one too. This is, and I'm only going to put you through one more of these. This was one of my favorites.
Point. Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath. If
this is like oldies but goodies, they pulled these tropes, these memes from everywhere. I mean, they pulled them out of nowhere. I haven't heard the bloodbath story in a while. You remember this one, don't you?
This and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
Okay, so what exactly did he say?
Has taken over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line.
Hey, wait for it.
You're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
If I don't get elected, it will be a bloodbath.
If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. Now, but they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories of.
If you don't understand it, but here's the thing, that's not the most important point. The point is it's the trope, the meme that they keep bandying about. Just Jules says, hi from Canada. Did they fact check her even once? I don't know. I do not believe so. Maybe I'm wrong. Please, if I'm incorrect, please let me know. Edie Crowley says, Cammie scoffed when DJT brought up Aurora, Colorado. Yes. I'm glad thank you for bringing that up. Thank you very much for that. Let me bring up a couple of things here. First and foremost, if I didn't know better, I would think somebody said, let's release the stories of cats and ducks and pets being eaten and consumed by Haitian immigrants or illegals in Springfield. See if he goes for it. And because it's so horrible and preposterous by its sound, we'll look at him as though he's crazy. Even though it's true, we'll look at him as though it's crazy. Okay? Think about that. Think about that. Now, interestingly enough, the people today, libs of TikTok, others are playing for you the recording, the police recordings, the 911 calls, the police reports, the dispatch records of people saying precisely that. Citizens going before the city council saying precisely that. Now, listen to what I'm saying and listen to how this is perfectly phrased and how President Trump must frame this. It's not that, look at us, we're crazy because we brought this up. Look at her laughing and scoffing at your pets and animals being kidnapped, butchered, and consumed. She's laughing at that. She thinks that's funny. Now, what does that mean? That means you've said, I believe this to be true. I believe this to be true, and therefore I am what have you. Let me say this again. The angle should be, so do you think it's funny, Madam Vice President? Do you think it's funny that people spend? No, I just think it. Do you think it's a conspiracy theory? Do you think it's made up? Do you think do you think Aurora, Colorado is made up? Do you think Tren de Aragua? Do you believe that hordes of marauding Venezuelan criminals? Don't you understand this? Don't you understand this? This is the most important thing in the world. I don't know who is at this point bothering me. Don't worry about it. Let it go right now. These are the things which I want you to understand and you to grasp. Because one of the things which is the most funny, one of the things which is the most interesting out of all of this is that that's the stuff that gets people's attentions the most. There's something about this. It's the idea. I can't message Mrs. L. Steve of Defense Department. Please ask her. Will do. Thank you so much for that. George Len says her smugness was unpalatable, trying to be relevant. Indeed. This is a part of what I am trying to say to you. This is the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. This is the most important issue in the world. Use what she said towards her. Use what she said towards her. Use it. Say it. She thinks it's funny. They're laughing at this. They're laughing at people coming in. The people of Springfield, Ohio. Hey, Springfield, they're laughing at you. This woman is laughing. She thinks it's funny. 58,000 people in your city. And you've been overrun with 20,000 Haitians. 20,000 in a city of 58,000. Now, of course, there's no time to go through this. And then David Muir says, well, we checked with the city manager. Trump got it right. He said, do you think the city manager is going to admit, yeah, you're right, under my watch, yeah, there's cats and stuff? Believe me, this is the point. This might people, if you watch, the Hannitys and they're thinking about the Green New Deal. Yeah. I promise you, there is somebody who says, whoa, wait a minute. What? Whoa. Animals, kittens? What are you talking about? Yeah, they're doing what? They're doing what? That's why whenever these young women are kidnapped or robbed or assaulted over. And by the way, I am torn because today, on this horrid day, 23 years ago, I don't think anybody really wants to talk about it. I really don't. I think we pay lip service to it and we say, never forget, and we don't really remember much of anything else. We really don't think of anything else. But, and we'll get to that. But I want you to feel better about something. I want you to understand something. What you're doing is you're just looking at a scrum of people to say, what moment did you like? What was your favorite message? What was your moment? What was your gotcha moment? What was your sense of, hey, that was great? What was your favorite comeback? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. People aren't going to say, you know what, I'm going to vote for, well, because Taylor Swift at the end with and she brings up cat lady. Wait a minute. When I saw Taylor Swift and the cat, she or somebody put up either an AI, I don't know what it was, but because she's using the JD Vance cat lady thing. See, when they hang on to something like you can't believe. Laurie says, you're right. We should take the day and reflect. Indeed, but it just so happens that we just had this other event last night, and it's going to be very, very difficult for people to deal with that. But thank you, Laurie. When I saw that Taylor Swift and these pictures going around with, I don't know if she did it, but a cat, Springfield, you can laugh all you want. Laugh all you want. There are things and there are stories and tropes and memes and ideas that hit people so hard that it sticks with them like nothing else. That's that. Number two, they're claiming, you're going to love this one. They're claiming that, the way they're making it sound, that Elon Musk is considering or talking about, how do I say this, inseminating or impregnating Taylor Swift. And it's like that. No, they talked about the cat lady reference and whatever. Look at this Haitian goose hunting incident in Ohio. Look at this. Look at this. And I told you before, are you going to X or Twitter? This changes constantly. This is this is like the fastest. And you can also, tailor the particular news to comply with your worldview. Look at what the Federalist does. They have this audio of goose hunting, and people say, what is this? And she's laughing at this. She's laughing at this story. This is the part that is the most important thing in the world. Now, I also think it's very interesting. There's this notion of this Taylor Swift moment. Okay, ready for this? This is the part that I think is interesting. They're trying to suggest, and this is important, they're trying to suggest that Taylor Swift now is, here we go. Taylor Swift, it says that she refers herself as a cat lady. Let me get the actual quote. Taylor Swift, Elon Musk. Okay. Hang on a minute. The emails are absolutely, the AI stuff will blow your mind. Elon says, fine, Taylor, you win. I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life. Okay. Now they're saying this is where we are today. This is where we are today. This is the bottom line. We're actually thinking that this is some kind of a big deal. Okay. Ryan says, this isn't 30 years ago when debates could move the needle. There's too many distractions. Yes. And people today have the attention span of a goldfish. I say of a gnat. This debate will be forgotten by Friday. Absolutely. Listen to this very, very important woman from CNN, no less.
It's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Were you leaning towards the former president coming in tonight?
Probably.
And did you vote for him in 2016 or 2020?
I did.
She's honest. She's absolutely honest. Barry Taylor says, hang on a minute, just 1 second, Barry. Let me be able to read it. Barry Taylor says Trump actually has the experience of being president. Kamala doesn't understand what it means in reality. World leaders see her as a harlequin. Well, that may or may not be true, but let me also bring up something, and this is very, very important, and thank you for that. What people are forgetting, and this is the most important thing in the world. I don't want you to listen to me. Listen to Uncle Lenny, because we're forgetting all this stuff. When you go to a restaurant, when you go to a place to eat, the food better be good. I don't care about the packaging. I don't care about how great it is. I don't care if tomorrow the coolest thing of all the hipsters was to eat seaweed. Not that there's anything wrong with it. You are not going to expect, nor should you expect, a complete influx, a deluge of seaweed consumers because somebody said, I like this, if they don't like the taste. Let me just put it to you this way. People have to like the person. Now, there are people who will say to you, and they'll look at you and they'll say, I like Kamala. I like her. Okay, fine. And you'll say, why? It's like, well, because, and they'll give you a reason. Doesn't matter what the reason is. You can't say, I'm sorry, that's not a good enough reason. No, it's a good enough reason. That reason will have to do. But it's because of a reason. Nobody will ever say, why did I vote for her? Because of the debate where she brought up the Central Park Five, when she brought up his father and racism from how many years ago? They handed her, she had no earthly idea of what she was talking about. This was given to her. The questions, it was loaded, it was given. You knew it, I knew it, everybody knew it. Trump knew it. Now, there's also something you've got to watch. I want you to go to my Twitter. I'm telling you, at Lionel Media. And there is this very interesting picture. And the picture is from a fellow by the name of, hang on 1 second, hang on. Ah, yes, from I meme, therefore I am. And there is a picture. I don't know, but look at this. Go to my, again, at Lionel Media. And it's from I meme, therefore I am. And there is a picture that he posts, or she, from January the 5th, 2023. I use these new smart earrings to listen to music. They totally surprise me. The Nova H1 audio earrings aren't your average ear candy. They look exactly like her earpiece. They look like earrings, and they are vocal. They're like earpods, and you can hear. Somebody can talk to you. Now, I don't know whether this is true. I don't know. Do you think it is beyond the realm of reason? Absolutely not. Donna Brazil gave Hillary Clinton the questions last time. Was she brought up on charges? Of course not. No. Look at this particular debate question. This is from the Spin Room. Who would better handle the economy? Before the debate or after the debate? It's very interesting right now. Trump is, before the debate, 53%. After the debate, 55%. Now, if you want to handle polls, if you want to be one of these poll cats and you want to go after and you want to chase polls, be my guest. Okay? Be my guest. Raul Rodriguez. Will Curtis Lee would talk about consuming cats? Very funny. He is, of course, the most rabid Ailerophile of them all. Edie Crowley says Trump was kind. He didn't bring up accents. You know what's funny? You're absolutely correct. He should have. He could have said, "Did I hear a bit of a Creole patois?" Thank you, Uncle Lenny. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Lori Cox says, looks like what she was wearing. Indeed. I don't know. We will see. Is anybody going to investigate this? No. If anybody calls up the White House and says, was she wearing any ear? No. How do we know? No. Mr. Muir, I don't know. Lindsay, I don't know. I don't know. Next, move on. That's it. They high-fived him. The people said to David Muir, you have a place. We will never forget you. And they're very good for this. We will never forget you. We will never forget how you did this. You threw this. You were perfect. Your countenance. She came across a little bit more. She was very good too. Lindsay, whatever her name was very good. A little stiff, very angry. But they did it. They sort of did it the right way. Now listen to me. Stop all this nonsense for a minute. Listen very carefully. I am telling you. Uncle Lenny is telling you the truth right now. And Lori says, I bet he gets her to do another one. Oh, you know what? I would hope so. Friends, do it, don't do it. What does it matter? They don't mean anything. Hillary Clinton or Trump, remember his first debate with her? It was terrible. They were saying, what the hell is, remember he was drinking the water or this? I don't even know what the hell he did these sniffing sounds, snorting sounds. I don't know. Anybody remember that? No. I have to remind you. Remember the snorting sounds? No. Remember how this? No. Nobody remembers this. Nobody remembers any of this stuff. Yeah, but it was weird. I don't remember. No, don't you remember? It was the first night. It was right on the way. And Hillary was going, and don't you remember that? And he goes, and you'll be in prison. Yeah. What difference did that make? It was a great line. What difference did that make? Nothing. Anybody vote for him because of that line? Well, they were going to vote for him anyway. Anybody leave Hillary? No. But it was a great line because we live in a world where we're saturated with so much shite. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people right now, there are memes to go through of Taylor Swift consuming cats. And I mean, just the weirdest. We're overwhelmed. One of you, dear folks, said it so correctly. In the old days, it mattered because that's all we had. We had a debate. Now we had a million things that we're going to forget. And then tomorrow, and then we have this overwhelming, this overkill. Does it matter? If Trump did great, terrific. If he did lousy, so what? That's not why people vote. It's become a part of our procedure. Kissing babies, rubber chicken, the rallies, all of this stuff. There were some moments we can go through, and I was listening this morning, and I just had to stop. This one like this one like this one. Boy, that was great. A friend of mine last night says, oh my God, even Brit Hume said she won. Okay. This is my friend who likes not Kamala, but the Democrats. And he said, even Brit Hume said that. I said, when Brit Hume said she was an idiot, did you listen to Brit Hume then? No, but you listen to him now. We are children. We are children. I have seen this before so many times. Evan Webb says, a debate with Lex Friedman would be great and fun. Well, a debate with him? Maybe. It would be kind of interesting. But immediately afterwards, I turned it off. He's talking to Hannity. Okay, fine. Now move on and let's go back on the road. Let's go back on the road. She never answered questions about Putin. She never answered questions about Zelensky. Do you want to go through this thing? Let me tell you something. Listen to Uncle Lenny. Nobody cares about Ukraine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Most Americans have no idea. They don't know what you're talking about. Ukraine, whatever. Israel, she was talking about two-state solutions. She had that answer down perfectly. He nailed her when he said, Bibi Netanyahu's here and you're at a party for your sorority? Lori Cook says, 3-on-1, most would lose. Trump didn't lose. No, and you're right, Lori, but he didn't lose also because it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Have another debate. Go ahead. That's not, she's now going to say, okay, where are you going to go? Oh, I got the debate. Oh, no. We're not that. No, we want to talk to you. And now you've got all these people you got MSDNC and all these other people and CNN saying, no, we want to talk to you. Oh, I'm not going to talk to you. What do you mean? Oh, I'm not going to, I'm no. I'm not going to talk to you. No, that was your talk. She thinks she's off the hook right now. She thinks she's off the hook. Now, the next one coming up, and I forget when, is going to be with J.D. Vance and with Tampon Timmy. Is that going to be a big deal? Maybe, but he's really the problem. Now, how much you can connect the two, that I don't know. But that's just, not just weird, but crazy talk. Crazy. Oh my God. They're going to be, you wait until you see that one. Just Jules says his final statement was the mic drop heard around the world, which is a version of what we've been saying. Do you want 4 more years of this nonsense? Monsi says it all comes down to their unsuccess to steal it. It's funny. It's funny. I would have loved, but this is me. Remember one thing. You have to be able to be yourself. And you have to know. Lori says she thinks it's over and it's just begun. It had. You're absolutely correct about that. You have to be yourself. I would have loved to have done a little bit more to get under her skin. He didn't look at her one time. Now, that can come across as many different things to different people. He was afraid of her. He doesn't respect her. But I would love to turn to her and say, do you really think that anybody knows what Project 2025 is? Do you know what it is? Have you read it? Be honest with me. Hang on, Muir. Did you read this? Do you know what it says? Do you grasp this? Who made you say this? Why do you keep bringing this up? It's okay, because every time you talk about something that's irrelevant, doesn't hurt me. I kind of like it. Why are you bringing this up? Why are you putting me through this? Why are you repeat? Who is telling you? This can't be yours. This can't be yours. And I would love this one. What is with you and abortion? You don't care about anything else. What do you not understand about what happened with the Supreme Court? What do you not understand? Roe against Wade, which was overruled by Casey, not Dobbs, Casey, basically said there was no federal constitutional guarantee of it for a reason that I'll bet you know nothing about. Did you understand the notion of substantive due process? I don't think so. Are you an advocate of the Griswold privacy decision? Of course. You don't know anything about this. You were given this. You were given this. Okay? You don't understand it. So why are you bringing this up? It's with the states. I don't understand this. Why don't you have anything to do with the states? Now, another reason too, who was it? There are people in the world who love to come forward, like Lindsey Graham. A friend of mine right now is how do I say this? That he said whoever Trump's debate coach should be fired. You're going to be seeing this. Brit Hume, all of this nonsense. And they're going to say, what does this mean? I'm saying, it doesn't mean anything. It means somebody is at a TV station or a blog or a website or something who has to put out news. And this is the best they have. And they're going to look at this. They're going to go, see? And you say, well, what does this mean? I don't know what this means, but see this? Look, Brit Hume said it was terrible. What are you doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I just hate Trump so much. I'll take anything. Oh, look, Dan Abrams said something. Why are you quoting that? I don't know, because I like whoever says what I like, I'm going to quote it. I'm going to quote it as dispositive. I'm going to quote it as, see, there you go. There you go. Dan Abrams said something. Brit Hume, Lindsey Graham, George Lindsey, Goober, who's dead, but if he was alive, maybe he's dead. I don't even know. They're going to do this all day. We're going to go through this all day long. It's the most incredible thing in the world. And today, 23 years ago, was an event that she thinks was outdone by the Civil War, okay, and January the 6th. I would have loved if he'd have had a card and start off by saying, thank you very much. You don't mind if I have this here? This is my Kamala drinking game. Let me put this here. And I don't drink, but every time she says something, I'm going to mark one off, okay? January 6th, abortion, convicted felon, I love the fact that, yeah, I'm a convicted felon because of you, because you came after me. Why don't you go back right now and change whatever you want to do now? Why don't you wake them up at 4 p.m? I love that one. But those are kind of fun lines, but they don't make anything. And I'd say, you're saying this. You've already said this. Who's telling you to say this? This is rehash. What are you going to do for the country? You're going to talk about January 6th? You're going to talk about Judge Mershon in New York? Are you what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make this country better, to make it great again? You've not said anything. One big mistake. He had to have, and I wish he would have done this. Please clarify for us this myth that there was this bipartisan bill to make the borders safe. You vetoed it or called people up or something. I don't know what it was. Please clarify that. Please. That's another one, which is another story. She said repeatedly, he also has to say, Pennsylvania, listen to me. No fracking, no Pennsylvania. Look at what's going on. She dares to talk about fentanyl. Have you seen Kensington in your own Philly? And you have a very good mayor who's doing the best she can. Where do you think this came from? Where do you think all of a sudden new drugs, trank, xylazine, things that nobody's ever even heard of? Where do you think this is coming from? Where do you think this is coming from? Where do you think? Tell me. Because of Republicans? Because of the GOP? Because of any program I've done? What do you think? What has happened? Defund the police. Let's talk about BLM and Antifa. Let's talk about a lot of things. Let's talk about why 87% or 92% or whatever of your staff has they don't even work for you. You can't even maintain a little off. I'm sorry. Vice president's an important thing, but you can't keep people. Maybe that's the reason why nobody voted for you. And I loved when she said about the rallies. Have you been to one of his rallies? They leave early. They leave early. She has to bus people in. Lori Cook says, why don't she do something about it? That's precisely the issue. Why haven't you? Why is it a new beginning, a new path forward, what are you talking about? A new path forward, what are you talking about? It's the most important thing in the world. So listen to Uncle Lenny again. Do you have any questions about what I'm telling you? It doesn't matter. It's okay if Trump nailed her. It's forgotten. People saw this. It's been said. We are a country that is saturated by data, saturated by information, absolutely imbued with information and data and opinion and shows and this one and this clip and that clip. And did you see this? And blah, blah, blah. And there's a cat and there's 9/11 and Barron's going to school and he's 6'9" and then blah, 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 blah. And there's Melania's book and there's a book. And now we got the cats and we got the Haitians next. And then we got 9/11. 9/11. Oh my God. 9/11 was still the most surreal moment ever. Surreal. 23 days ago today. 23 days ago. Surreal. It was like nothing you could ever imagine. Like you were in a movie. You were in some place. You were in something that just, you couldn't believe what you were seeing. You couldn't believe this was happening. You heard about this. You kind of were a little bit, you kind of had an idea of what things would look like. And then to hear every siren in every corner from everywhere, every siren, every ambulance, every police car, every fire truck, everything, just this, whoa. And you were walking around in a fog, in a cosmic fog. People just didn't know what was, and it was this 1,000 yards there. What is going on? What? It was the strangest thing. The smell. I keep telling people about the smell from downtown up, the burning, the asbestos, or the smells of the fire and the wires and the electronics. It smelled like, when a vacuum cleaner motor burns out, it's got that metallic, that singe smell. That's what it was. Edie Crowley says, what about 150 American-born children having to give up their bus seats for migrant children? The town right next to Canton, Massachusetts. Yep. Lori says, what did happen really? Lori, you are going to be surprised by the fact that we will never be able to put it this way. Name the event and you will spend the rest of your life debating it. They are still trying to figure out what happened with the Civil War. Still trying to figure out World War II. Still trying to figure out, well, why, okay, well, why this guy? Why did this happen? We will never, ever, 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 ever truly, truly understand, because one of the reasons why is there is not an insatiable desire and an interest And people are going to say, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to sound crazy. Let me go back to what I said before. There are people in Springfield, Ohio. We didn't bring up this business about ducks and animals being kidnapped and consumed. We didn't bring it up. We didn't just make that up. It's in the news. We saw these people appearing before the city council. They are so good, they will look at you and think, that's a conspiracy theory. That's crazy. It's like, no, it's happening. No, you don't understand. That's crazy. It's not crazy. Oh, yes, it is. We say it's crazy. Do you believe me or your lying eyes? This never happened. None of it happened. What are you talking about? This is bananas. This doesn't happen in our country. She was talking about things that were so incredible about dreamers and the pathway. Have you seen these people storming what are you talking about? These buses and planes and people in the middle of the night. They look at you and they lie. They lie to you because she says, I'm going to say what they say to tell me. This is the official line. This is what I say. This is the story. I'm going to talk about this. He talks about Ukraine. What about when Putin and Zelensky sat down, they were going to work this out, and Boris Johnson came in and ended it because they told Boris Johnson, end it. That never came up. Of course it never came up. It doesn't come up. They look at you and they say things over and over. Project 2025. Charlottesville, his father, the Central Park 5. She has this list. Just say this. Anything to get off of what we're doing. Anything they never asked her one time. When did you know he was physically, cognitively, and neurologically unable to do his job? When did you know this? When? How are we to trust you? We knew this since Corn Pop. You must have known this. And the only reason you didn't know it is because you never were allowed close enough, or you just weren't there. Or you figured, you know what do I care? And they talked about this. They talked about it was a coup, and the Democrats should be that just be furious. She also talks, and again, when it comes to Israel, a two-state solution. There will never be. What are you talking about? She talks about things that, Israel has a right to defend itself. And October the 7th. And this is what happened. And I got it. And say what you want. She knew nothing about Iran. Nothing about it. She knows nothing about this. Nothing. Just doesn't understand. It's not her thing. And I wish, in a way, it would have been a little bit more vituperative, a little bit more confrontational. I wish he would have said, you don't know what you're talking about. You absolutely do not know what you're talking about. You are saying things that somebody told you to say, and you knew what the questions were. You came in today, you memorized a script. You didn't prepare for this. You went to your ballroom and you said, okay, ready, action. And you came on in your thing. It's like, remember when Mike Tyson cussed him out and goes 3:52. He had a punch or a throw for each thing. 3, 1, 1, 1, 5. That was it. Say this. 3. Do the line about the January 6th. Do the line about I'm going to be a dictator for one day. Do you remember that day? It was a joke in passing. It doesn't matter. They jump on it like a bone, like a dog on a bone, and they don't let go, and they keep saying it, and they have no bones about it. None. Speaking of bones, they have no compunction whatsoever to keep saying Project 2025. Nobody even knows what it is, and she keeps saying it, and she says it with this. Oh, you know what the right, so to speak, does. They did the same thing with Saul Alinsky. That's Saul Alinsky. That's straight from the Saul Alinsky. But that's Saul Alinsky. Who's Saul Alinsky? I have no idea who he is. But I know is he's a bad guy Oh, what did you think when he called her a Marxist? What do you think about that? Anybody offended? I have told you from the beginning, I have told you, don't say Marxist. Don't say communist until now. Until now. Let her say, wait a minute, what? I got to let her have to explain something. Because your father was a Marxist and you were raised, I was not. Now she's got to stop and explain it. Well, no, I wasn't. And somebody might say, her father's a Marxist? He's a Marxist, a proud Marxist. Well, what? She's got to stop and explain. No, that's not what I did. Wait. That's not what I did. And to you, and I wish she just said, and you think climate change is good. It's a hoax. You know it's called weather. My dear, have you ever heard about the Holocene maxima, the Hypsy thermals? Come on. What are you talking about? You know nothing about it. You have been merely given this line, this litany, this speech to say repeatedly. It's Pavlovian. It's reflexive. It doesn't make any sense. You don't know what you're saying. It's like this dog whistle. You say climate change. You sound like Greta Thunberg. How dare you? You're repeating this over and over. You want to have what? Solar farms, windmills? Come on. Don't you think it's about time that you stop this? Nobody's buying this anymore. You got to get a new program. Talk to your script writers and say something new. Because right now people are worrying about inflation, about crime, about their children, about people like your vice presidential nominee putting tampon machines in boys' rooms. Why? Why? Because you've lost your mind. You've sold your soul to a group of people who have nothing but their own radical agenda in mind. Nothing to benefit this country. Nothing to make us great again. Nothing to make us anything again. My dear madam, have you at long last no decency? When are you going to stop with these tropes? If he did something and confronted her a little bit more next time, turn to her and say, how can you do this? How can you look at the American people and say this? You know Project 2025. Are you trying to run out the clock? Is that what they told you? Is that what they're telling you in your earpiece? Throw that one out. Have her say, I'm not worried about it. Say, okay, whatever. Take it easy. Take it easy. Is this not a part of your memorized routine? Why don't you just give us a script ahead of time? Next time, just stay home. Because you're just going to say these things. Number 1, number 3, cut and paste. So listen, my dear friends, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to relax. I want you to focus. And as Lori says, reflect about today. Reflect what these days. Where were you 23 days ago or years ago? Where were you? How did you react? How did your life change? How was it? When did it hit you? When did you think, oh my God, do you remember that? And you know what? This country was in lockstep. And then later on, of course, there were different factions. But I'm telling you, everybody here was 100% on the same page. Lori Cuck says, it would surprise me if Trump was in on it. I don't know what in on what is, but it would surprise me as well. I don't know what it is that we're talking about. Now, remember one thing. You're going to have a good day today. You're going to go forward. You're going to tell all of your friends who email you and text you and some, oh, Lindsey Graham said this and so that. You're going to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. By Friday, it's over. By Friday, it's over. It doesn't matter. By Friday, it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you the truth. By Friday, it is over. You understand that? And Laurie says, if he was a bad guy, again, I don't know if who was a bad, I'm sorry, I don't know if who was a bad guy. That I don't know. I don't know. but thank you. So, Lori, I thank you immensely. Edie Crowley, you so very much. Monsi, Just Jules, Evan Webb, Paul, I thank you. Raul Rodriguez, Barry Taylor, Ryan, I thank you. George Lenz, let me see, the Cobbs, thank you. Soul 76 Can, and Evan Webb, I thank you immensely for that, for your consideration and the like. Take it easy, relax. Make sure you are, first of all, following me on X or Twitter. I'm going to be doing a lot of tweeting today, a lot of it on X or Twitter under Lionel Media. I pinned it up right there. I'll put it right now here for you right now. This is the link. Follow me at Lionel Media. A little different name, but it's on X or Twitter. Okay? Right. And follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. All right, dear friends, we're going to get through this today. Don't read too much. Take it easy. We'll circle back tonight at 7. I appreciate you. I love you. You are everything to me. I mean this. It is a joy, an absolute joy to spend this time with you. Also, make sure you subscribe to Lionel Nation here, because I've got some things that I'm going to drop during the day. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you later. And don't forget, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da, da.